About 4 years ago, a client and I purchased Double Cluck, and what was supposed to be a 3-year project has turned into a 4-year project. And we spent the last year kind of exploring possible sales, and personally I've been exploring ways to keep the farm. And I've gone through every possible scenario, and I just can't find a way to financially keep that in my comfort zone. So here we are, a year late on our project, but Double Cluck is for sale, and it's just an incredible property. I mean, I say this a lot, but we've been blessed to be part of some pretty awesome properties throughout the last couple of decades, and this one is so unique in so many ways, and it's what attracted us to the farm to begin with, and so many of those still hold true. For me, the biggest draw was waterfowl hunting, and that's what I do, so obviously that was most attractive to me. But there's so many things there that make that place so special for waterfowl. First off, it sits in between Lakeland Park and Double T conservation area, so the location is great because there's so many birds in the area. There's other waterfowl hunters out there, so the location was great. Secondly, the layout of the property is perfect for waterfowl. I mean, it's, I always call it 1,000 acres. I think it's closer to 980 or 982. Of those, it's about 100 acres of lakes, and I want to say 60 or so acres of wetlands that we plant and flood. We're talking, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it's 6 wetlands that we actually plant and hunt. Several more that we plant and do not hunt. So those two elements together, and then add on, I think it's like 360 acres of row crop that we cut. So the balance for waterfowl is perfect in my mind. I think there's 22 or 23 pits and blinds out there. One of the other major points that makes that place so incredible for waterfowl hunting is there's power throughout the whole property, literally the whole property. So I think it's 4, maybe 5 of the wetlands have power. So there's ice eaters on every wetland. In front of our duck blinds, 5 or 6 or maybe more of the lakes have power. So we have aerators running out there. So literally we have major pockets of water open throughout the entire farm. And the cost of doing that these days would be astronomical. So the later we get, the better we do. which is unlike most clubs or waterfowl farms. You know, when most farms freeze up, their waterfowl season is over. When our area freezes up, we're literally just getting going. Our best hunts and our best kind of portion of the season are towards the tail end of the season when everyone else is frozen up, because we have just an incredible amount of open water. Just those things together and where it's at, the waterfowl hunting has been, it's been awesome. I get excited when I think about the possibility of the club shutting down and an individual buying it. You know, right now it's run as a club. One of the downsides to that is it gets pressured more than you would like. You just kind of take that trade-off because you're, you know, you're making more income to help carry the property. But I do think the potential of that property, if it were to sell to an individual investor, if that was shut down and, you know, hunted like a personal property, like I said, I just get excited about that potential, because I think that place, the waterfowl hunting, could be off the charts if managed for an individual or a small group. The upland hunting, when I bought it, I didn't know anything about upland hunting, so it was kind of a bonus. I didn't know what to expect, and it has been a great surprise, I would say. Not that we have a bunch of natural kind of wild birds in this area. We have some, but without supplementing that with, you know, released birds, it's never going to be that great. But what is great is the birds are the cheap part. It's the habitat and all the setup. That infrastructure is there, so I don't know how many miles and miles of upland strips we have throughout the property. Some of them are CRP, so we get income on those strips. Some are just food plots, but you know, 3, 4, 5 miles, I don't know, but that infrastructure is there. So releasing and hunting upland birds has been so fun out there. And it's something that's pretty unique for double cluck, because there is not a lot of farms in central Illinois that are set up for upland hunting. And double cluck is one of those, and it's set up extremely well. The fishing, I didn't get a chance to fish it that much just because we were so busy doing other things out there. But again, there's 100 acres of water, deep water, shallow water, big lakes, small lakes. Some of the fish that the members caught out there were just, you know, enormous. Everything I've heard is that the fishing is great. There's every species imaginable out there. You know, they have the bass, crappie, bluegill, catfish, your kind of Illinois fish, but then we've got walleye in the main lake, pike, tiger muskie. We've got a smallmouth lake. So literally there is, if you're a fisherman, it has everything you could possibly want. Another thing that makes the fishing kind of nice is there's the access throughout the property is great. There's roads and trails literally everywhere throughout the property. And I think it's maybe it's 5, 6 or so of the main lakes all have concrete boat ramps. So getting in and out is easy. We've got the building still on the boats. So the fishing out there has been awesome. Anyone that's into fishing or looking for a fishing farm, they would certainly be excited about the fishing at this place. The deer hunting, it's not a deer farm. Like, I'm not going to say this is a trophy deer farm. In fact, when we bought it, I tried to shut it down for deer hunting to the members. We ended up letting some of the old members continue to do that, but it's not a deer farm. That being said, if a individual or a small group bought it, there is deer on the property. There's just not a ton of big, thick timber, but surely, for one guy or two guy to go shoot a good deer, maybe one good deer a year and a bunch of does, there is enough timber and brush that there are good deer out there. Like, we find great sheds every year. Just with as many members that we have, it's just, from a safety standpoint, I just didn't allow it. But if an individual bought it, certainly there's enough deer there that you could hunt and shoot a good deer every year and some does. So the whitetail hunting, I would say, is, again, it's not a trophy whitetail farm, but there is that added bonus there. Dove hunting has been great over the years. This last year, we lost most of our birds early, but that's been great over the years. There is a shooting course that we designed, a 5-stand with a Morton building kind of awning or covered patio that we shoot out of. It's all automated. I think there's 6 throwers on the main kind of station, and there is a wobbler, maybe 2 wobblers on the second sort of station. That's super cool. Just something to kind of do and entertain as you're getting ready to hunt or entertain guests. It's been fun. The lodge is right there by the 5-stand and the shooting station, and the lodge to us was perfect. I know a lot of people have big, huge, fancy lodges, and that's just not what we wanted. We wanted to spend more of our money on the actual property, so the lodge is perfect. It's I want to say it's a 4-bedroom kind of cabin-style lodge. Nothing super fancy, but it has everything you need. It's got the bedrooms, the kitchen, the power, the plumbing, everything is there. We also have an equipment shed right next to it that we house all of our toys, that we seemingly keep getting more and more toys, but all of our decoys, our boats, 4-wheelers, we keep our tractor in there. The equipment shed is right next to the lodge, so that's been convenient. Everything is right there. Honestly, it's just been a special property that's completely done. Like, there's not much else that needs to be done with it, which is fairly rare. Most properties we buy for ourselves or with a client, there's some developing to do to have them reach their potential. I'm not sure that that's the case with Double Cluck. I mean, there's a couple things that I would do if I kept it, but none of them need to be done. I mean, it is ready to go. All the pumps are in place to fill up the wetlands. All the aerators are there to keep the water open. Boat ramps are there. Roads are there. Again, just power throughout the property gives you so many options to do kind of cool things there. So it's been a super fun farm to own for these 4 years, and I'm not giving up on if it doesn't sell, in the next year or so, of coming up with some sort of way to keep it. But for the time being, that's not the case. So it is for sale, and I invite you to just reach out and give me a buzz. We'll go take a tour of it. I truly believe that whoever looks at it will see that kind of uniqueness and see how special it is. The same thing that I saw 4 years ago when I looked at it.